If any of you have owned facelifted IS200, IS300 or Altezza, you know the worst thing about them is the dash. Whenever they facelifted the car, they decided to make it feel a bit more premium and put like a soft touch coating over the dash. But the problem was, as soon as it gets old and it gets too warm on like a summer's day, it melts, and it never, like, it doesn't unmelt, it just always stays sticky. And if you like try and rub it with your hand or rub it with a towel, the coating just comes off on the towel, and it's just a nightmare. You can't keep it clean, it never looks nice, it's all marked and scratched, and oh, it's horrible. And even on this car, you can see the previous owners tried to take it off, and I know some people do just scrub it off with like glue gun and that kind of thing, but then it just makes the whole thing look streaky and grey, and it's not good. Another option is you can take the dash off and strip everything off it and spray it, but it's not really going to give you the OEM result. It might be too shiny, it might be too dull, it might suffer from the same problem of getting too hot. And you can also flock the dash, but that really doesn't look normal, that's more of like a rally thing. So I think the best way to handle the sticky dash problem is to go out and buy a pre-facelift dash and just swap it in. The other thing is there's bits of trim around the interior, like these window switches that are the sort of like bronzy metallic colour, but the dash is black. But the pre-facelift dashes have that bronzy metallic colour to them, so if you swap a pre-facelift dash in, it actually makes the interior a lot more cohesive and much better. First thing I want to do is actually pull the seats and the floor mats out, just to give me a bit more space, because I'm going to have to pull the centre console and the dash out, and I might need to drop the steering column and all that sort of stuff as well, so give myself as much room inside the car as possible to make my life easier. Let's get started. Another thing you're going to want to do as early as you can is just disconnect the battery, because we're going to have to disconnect the airbag in the dash. You'll want the battery to be removed for at least, I think, 24 hours to just allow any capacitance that's in that airbag to drain away, so it doesn't go off when you try and pull it out. So I'm going to pull the battery off now. Just a quick tip while we're here. I'm going to be using these little, just like freezer bags, and scribble on them with the Sharpie and just bag up all your bolts and clips and covers and anything, and just throw them in and just put them somewhere safe. Okay, so to get the center console up and out, there's a wee cover in here, and then two screws back here, and you've got two on the sides. This you just pull up, and there's a couple of plugs underneath. You just have to unscrew that, and then there's two screws up at the front, and you can pull it up and out. Right, so there's a little tiny trim piece up here with two screws behind it, so you have to just clip that up. I recommend using these little trim pliers because they're less likely to scratch the surface. I'm not too worried about scratching up the whole dash, but I want to keep these little center console pieces nice and mint. Yeah, so there's two 10mm on the bottom and two on the top, and I think we should be able to get that out. There's just that wee trim piece in there and two screws that let that come out, and then there's three plugs on the back. That's that out. Nice and simple. most of everything pulled apart. Pulled the glove box out there, center console, and the two kick plates go down there. So far, for bolts I've removed for the dash. There's one way down in the corner there, and then there's two on this side. You can see one there, and then one right there. And that seems to have loosened up the bottom, because I can now give it a jiggle and it seems fairly free. Yeah, it just sort of seems to want to come out now. Also removed this one, which looked like it was also ground sat nav, and then one here behind the gauges. It's all I've removed so far. I've got the other dash over there that I'm sort of using as a reference, and I don't see any up the top. It just looks like all these like pull clips, so the dash just pulls out, and that looks to be it. The only two things I've got left is the airbag harness, that airbag, and then you see you've got your light sensors up there for the automatic headlights, and there's a plug somewhere under here that connects to that. And I need to figure out which one it is to remove that, because obviously when we try and pull that out, it's going to try and pull on that plug. So the car's had the battery disconnected for like an hour. I've read like different sources. Some people are like, you have to leave it for 24 hours. That seems to be the safest way with the battery off. But other people are saying, give it 2 minutes just to let it all drain. So I just disconnected it at the beginning, and it's been maybe an hour or two since then, so I assume it'll be okay. It would be really bad if the airbag went off, so I hope it doesn't. We'll see how we get on. At least if it does, it'll destroy the dash I don't care about. So I found the plug for the light sensors. So there's the like ignition just under and behind it. You can see this wire coming down here, and it just plugs in to that. So you just unplug that and it'll come out the dash. Next is the scary one that I've been putting off, the airbag. I really don't want to set it off, but sure, we'll see what happens. Okay, I think it's unplugged now. Airbag came out okay. You can see the plug for it here, and then just pulled that out. You just had to slide this white bit back, and then also now you can see there and there's a couple of wee bolts more I had to take out. They go on the back of the airbag, so I took those out, and now the dash should be ready to come out. So I found a couple more. I had a little look on the Lexus forums, and I found one here, one down there, and apparently you have to remove this glove box bracket, which has a couple of screws and bolts up there, and also just disconnect that, and now it seems to start to want to come out. See if we find any more. Good now. Oh yeah, I forgot to say I also removed the two things that Lou just pulled out real easy, and it just gives me a bit more breathing room on either side. Now, it definitely would have been easier if I'd dropped the steering column down. The forum I was watching said to actually do that. And I was like, that'd be fine. Which it was. marked up the windscreen a wee bit, but it's just that coating that's all melted, so I'll just give that a clean. Got the sticky dash all sorted, and it's looking much better now. So that's one thing down. I've also got a couple more wee bits I just want to take care of on the car while we're here. The car's pretty dirty. Unfortunately, I don't have time to clean it today, but I've got two things. I've got some license plates that have the dealer that sold this car over in Japan, and they're like address and all that sort of stuff on it, so it looks truly original. And I've got a brand new Altezza badge for the front, because that one's all chipped and oxidized. So it was a nice Christmas present I got, and I'm going to throw those on now.